Please rise and join us for a flag salute. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
A few small changes to the agenda are 9:30. Barbara Anderson called in and canceled and won't make it today. And I see Arden is back. I would suggest after we do the minutes, we meet with Arden and get that out of the way first. Since it carried over from last week.
Okay.
Anybody have any discussion on the minutes from last week? If not, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes.
A lot of minutes there for 2 days, so I'll so move. Cody.
John was moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Tom was seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
I'll abstain on one set of minutes.
Okay. Minutes from Monday carry 5-0. The minutes from Wednesday carry 4-0-1. Consent agenda. 3 tax abatements. Is there any discussion on those?
I read them over. I have.
For self-explanatory?
Yeah, so so moved.
Tom is moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Dawn is seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Miscellaneous motions, we have motions from the Noxious Weed Department. Upon recommendation of the Noxious Weed Director, move to approve and sign the annual Noxious Weed Eradication Progress Report for 2019. Bob is moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Tom is seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries 5-0. Arden, you ready?
I'm just here on a follow-up. Supposed to meet you guys down there at the park this morning. Don and Tom come down to just get an idea of where it was going. I think they got a good idea of where it's going now and what we're trying to do. I guess it's up to you guys now. If you're going to help us out a little bit on that, we'd sure appreciate it. With the safety of being a big issue nowadays, a snow fence is no longer a safety deal for what we actually put down there with the animals that we have down there, and also be a little security for our fair. So I don't have much else to say. Bob, you got a question?
Yeah,
I can see
sure
in
do.
your eyes.
How much are you asking for? Hope not all of it.
Well, we take $1 or $2 off. But actually, to be honest with you, every little bit will help us. I'm not going to put a price tag on it because knowing you, that would put up a barrier in your mind. So I'm going to let you cough it up first, and then I'll see if I can.
Until you tell me what you're asking, I'm not in favor of anything. I mean, I want to know what kind of money we're spending this year. So
Well,
you're the one asking for the money. I can't buy and sell both and say go.
Okay. The fence is going to cost less than $14,000. Okay.
How much can you come up with?
Well, that's our bid because we're taking off the sales tax, and that was included in the thing that I gave you the last. I would hate to ask for a certain amount of money. I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to have it all put out because the fair board doesn't get anything except for the money that you guys give us earlier, and 10,000 of that is already gone. towards the ribbons, the judges, and that. And then we have went ahead this year. Our sound system really hurts down there at the fairgrounds. And so yesterday, we had a guy out of Ottawa that come down and set up a different system for us. We had, I think there's 8 or 9 of them that went in to listen to it. We had a gal down there singing on it to see how clear it was going to be and see if that's what we wanted. Right now, that system is something that we will probably go with. And we're making that improvement because last year at the Peterson Farm Boys, that was just a disgrace to the Peterson Farm Boys and to our crowd that was there. Anytime you have to put somebody on the grass with 1 microphone when they need 3 and do what they do, you know, it wasn't a good performance and it wasn't a good showing on ours. So we have invested in that, and we're hoping to invest in this fence. To be honest with you, if you want me to throw out a number, I would go with 10,000. We'd like to get from the commissioners, and we would go ahead and come up with the rest of it. All the money that we make down there besides your donation is we make it ourselves. And to have, last year we had a real good fair. We're hoping to increase that this year. I think we got a good Friday night concert that we're planning on getting. We can't say who it is yet, but it's going to be kind of a local. I haven't signed a contract on that yet. We're planning on Wednesday night, it's going to be a free event with a horse pole. Thursday night, we're planning on having a free event, and that'll going to be team roping. And then Friday night will be our hopefully we get this booked, and then Saturday night will be our demo release. And that's where we're at right now. And the fence would be a tremendous help keeping like demo cars and horses and cattle, if they got out, from going in and maybe doing some running into our 4-H kids down there. I think it'd be a good safety feature. I think it'd be a good safety feature for the city, but they didn't see it that way.
After looking at it, I saw the benefit safety-wise. I really did. I don't know about Dawn.
Well, I made a comment last week, and I'll make this basically the same comment. You know, our county fair is so important for our county for a 4 or 5 day function. We've got 100 excess kids in our 4-H program. I'm not sure where that number's at because I'm not involved. Daryl's 130 or 40. And I went down there this morning to have Arden explain to me exactly what type of fence he's going to put in and where they're going to put it, mainly where they're going to put it, because I didn't fully understand the other day, and I didn't know exactly where what the outlay of it was. But I know you mentioned 10,000. You know, this county does a lot of things for a lot of cities, for a lot of projects and everything. My thought is, for what that will do for the county fair, the longevity of that project, don't have to upkeep that every year, take it up, take it down, and repair it every day. I have no problem doing the whole 13.4, because that's about what it's going to be. 13.4, 13.5. You got a bid that I didn't expect you to ever get, because the other 2 bids were 30,000. I still question whether that's a legitimate bid or not. But that's my thought. I'd like to go ahead and just do the whole thing, 13.3. That's my thought. If you want to put it in motion, I'll put it in motion right quick. I mean, I see the value to it for the fair, the value to it for the county. That county fair brings in tremendous amount of sales opportunities for some businesses here in town. So there's just over and above what we're getting down there for added safety.
I agree. I didn't go down and look because, first of all, I don't want to be on the fair board. Second of all, I don't want to try to micromanage how you guys do your things. And third of all, I had a lady bend my ear the other day, so I'm willing for whatever it takes. So, there's a motion, but I'm not making the motion.
Mr. Chairman, also make the motion, and I don't have the dollar amount exactly, and I don't have the name of the company.
Well,
Because I left it, for some reason, I left it in the pickup, but so moved to award the contract to Midland Fence Company, be for the
not to
$14,383,
exceed.
$14,383.87, less the sales tax.
Right.
So it's gonna end up net somewhere around $13,700, $13,800, and we can get that figure put together and put in the minutes.
I'll second. Don has moved, Fred has seconded. What fund would we pay that from?
Community.
You know,
Community improvement.
community improvement needs to come out of that.
Just out of improvement general.
General community improvement, general line item, or reserve?
I think just out of general, be the best place to have it. I think the motion should say not to exceed 14,000.
Yeah.
That way if there's a little extra something or somewhere.
And I would approve that.
Not to exceed
Not to exceed
14.
14.
We need to have some kind of figure on it.
Yeah. Okay. Been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
The Fair Board thanks you, and mainly the 4-H kids' safety will thank you more. So thank you very much. Thanks for everybody coming in.
Yeah.
You had some support here today, Martin.
Do what?
You had support here today.
You bet. I brought the big boys in today.
You got two ladies
It wasn't
sitting
the big
here.
boys concerned me.
Okay, I missed a couple motions here in our miscellaneous motions, some reappointments to the Planning and Zoning Board. First one would be to reappoint Clarence Fry from District 3 as a member of Coffee County Planning Board to a 3-year term, effective immediately, ending April 30th, 2023.
I so move.
Tom has moved, is there a second?
Second.
Tom has seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. The second one would be to reappoint Weston Fleming from District 1 as a member of the Coffee County Planning Board to a 3-year term, effective immediately, ending April 30th, 2023.
I so move. I knew that. I've been talking to him, asking if he's related to Jeff, and he's not.
Tom has moved and Bob has seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Third would be to reappoint Lyle Fisher from District 5 as a member of the Coffee County Planning Board to a 3-year term, effective immediately, also ending April 30th, 2023.
I'll move.
Bob has moved.
Second.
Tom has seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Ready for, excuse me, Jordan? Jordan not here?
Jared.
Jared, sorry. Monday, I apologize. Drainage ditch concern.
Yeah. Good morning, I'm Jared Ekton. My wife and I purchased a property just outside of Gridley, and we farmed it my whole life. Anyways, we've always had a drainage ditch problem, anyways, Robert's got some maps here of what's been going on, so. Handouts.
Put you in your element.
That's right.
You're still working.
Well, this is more of a hobby.
Yeah.
We better not get into that discussion, have we, Rob?
Oh, like Jared was saying, the issue that we're talking about is on Emmer Lane, and it's just north of Gridley, and it's right here. The issue that we're having, well, as you probably know, it's been kind of wet. There's been a little erosion going on. So there's water that comes down the county road ditch right here to about this point, and then, I don't know, for the last few years anyway, it's been jumping across Jared's field and going over here to the draw. And if you look on the, I've got you,
Nancy Eccles.
I've got you, this is a 2019 map on top, the 2010 map in the middle, and then the black and white one's a 2002 map. And then I have our LiDAR map there. And if you look on that LiDAR map, right where it's jumping across is where the road ditch gets really flat. So I'm not sure when the last time that road was redone, but that ditch is just basically silted in on the bottom end there. So instead of the water making it all the way up here to the slough, it's now jumping over. And there was a little berm along here, and you can kind of see that hump along that picture there. But it's broke through right there, and so water's going down. About a month ago, I stopped and asked Wayne to take a look at that and do a little surveying to see if that ditch could be cleaned out from this point on down to the culvert there.
That is a slough there going back.
There's a, yeah, if you look here, there's a cross culvert right here.
But you're wanting to go further north.
No, we're just wanting to come from this point, yeah, well, from this point north to the existing ditch there.
So we just resurfaced that road last year, didn't we?
I don't know about resurfacing it. It's, yeah, I mean, it's fairly new. I don't
This
know.
is Lake Road, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, we just put a new surface on it. We just filled that, or I think put an overlay on it. When you think of it. Last year, I don't know why we wouldn't have done ditches.
But yeah, there wasn't any.
The ditch, like I said, the water just, it used to go on north here to the original waterway, and it just over time is shooted away.
This last map's a little bit different. This
We took some pictures that,
So what they did, you think, Robert, the ditch needs cleaned out, is basically what you're saying?
I mean, and if you look at these contour lines, once it gets down to about where it's breaking over there, it's just basically flat from there on up here to the waterway. So over the years, I mean, it's just silted in. I know Wayne was going to go out and take a look and do some surveying. I haven't heard back from Wayne. I don't know what he's doing, but
I'm behind you.
so Wayne
Wayne can tell us if he's been out and take a look at it or not.
Wayne talked to me and said that, that I should come here and talk to you guys. And he, that's basically the way we left it, isn't it, Wayne?
Yeah, well, what we'd have to do, as far as it settling in and such as that, there really was no ditch there in the first place. And I can show you pictures in that particular area. And so what you'd have to do to put a ditch in, you'd have to remove the fence, purchase more right-of-way, and then put a fence along there, because you can see where that has been eating just on the east side of the fence. It's basically, it's ate away, it's made its own ditch on the east side of the fence. And that's beyond the existing right-of-way that you currently have right now. And so I have those photos as well. And I have probably the Google Earth is what you were showing, right?
I was showing our LiDAR photos.
Your LiDAR photos?
We take that fence out, or you willing to put the fence back?
Yes. But what you'd have to do on that one, Bob, is you'd have to buy additional right-of-way too.
You willing to sell some, little bit of right away?
Yeah, I mean, it needs fixed. I mean,
Fixed.
it's like
Doing that.
it's kind of a safety issue also.
We're doing that other places. I don't see any reason why it couldn't be done here.
What's that?
I said, we're doing it other places. I don't see any reason why.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're willing to cooperate with us.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be a neighbor.
You know, at one time, the ditch was evidently wide enough, deep enough to drain to the north.
That used to be just a gravel road.
Okay, so that's
Back in the
what
day,
I was asking,
and that-
why does it need to, why
And
do
it's
we need
been,
by right
and I
away?
think now that it's a 2-lane highway,
Okay, so that would explain why we need to buy some right away to make it work.
I mean, it looks like that road's not centered in.
Looks like that road's not centered, it may not be centered, but.
but all the water coming down off that road, off that hill, and all that, you know, it just comes right across there. Just in any ditch.
You only buy right of way from where it's breaking over now to the ditch. You're not gonna be buying right of way for a full half mile there, are you?
What you're gonna, the thing that you have to be different, I mean, Bob, I shook my head, when you looked at those other projects, there is a difference between what we're doing there. Keeping in mind our primary focus, this is what's hard for folks to understand. our primary focus is the one is to look at safety, okay? So we basically spend money that deals with safety. We spend money that deals with things that's costing us money, meaning that roads, the rock is being washed off and such as that. Then we spend money where it's costing us money. Then we take a look at basically being good neighbors, all right? So now what you're saying is, okay, are we good neighbors here or not? Let's take a look at other examples. Matthias Lake. Why are we doing that? Person says, well, that's benefit the Forest Roberon. That's not necessarily the case because, one, the rock gets washed off the road, okay, more than once occasionally throughout the year. So we go back to it's costing us money. All right, so we have to be careful there. On this particular instance, our road is not being affected. The only thing that's being affected is the road was built that way when it was originally built. Okay, now it may have been a gravel road, but that road's been there for how long?
As long as I can remember.
So 15 years, 20 years? So that road's been that way. So now what you're wanting to do is redesign it. And I'm not against it. I'm saying if that's what you're wanting to do, but it ain't. But among our criteria is to say, okay, is it costing us any money? No. Is it basically a safety issue? No. So, but those other examples where we're dealing with basically taking trees out or cutting ditches and such as that, that's costing us money. Basically, we're going in, having to reshape the roads because of the moisture or different things like that, or the water's washing the gravel off the roads. So those are a little bit different. But that one particular site, that water is running on the other side of the fence. It's running along the fence. Then basically it found a draw, which basically you had shown right there that we talked about when we visited, that you were looking at terracing, and that was possibly a terrace that you would build that was the natural outlet for that water, not necessarily trying to take a ditch and run it clear to the waterway, which is further to the north than what that existing outlet is. Okay, so now what you're wanting to do is you're saying, okay, this is our problem, that we have to incur the costs associated with it. Then what you're going to do is you're going to make us take a ditch and run it all the way to that waterway that was not the original road design. That's been there for 20-some years.
It was,
Yeah.
the road was fine before though. Like the old engineer, I feel like should have put a ditch in there. There was never a ditch.
That I don't disagree with you.
There should have been a ditch put in there to start with whenever they did the road to start with a long time ago. My dad fought this a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I fought it, and I feel like it's not my, I mean, I will help, I'll build a fence, I'll do whatever to help, but I feel like it's not my problem, I mean, to fix it. I mean, I feel like the county should have put a ditch there. I mean, there's a place to get rid of the water just another 100 feet to the north. That's always worked in the past until we widened the road and we never put a ditch in.
But see, what I'm dealing with is I'm dealing with something that's been in place for over 20 years.
And I know it's not your deal.
Come back and have to
Maybe you can
recorrect it.
I see where
Come
you're
back and have
coming
it corrected.
from, but I see where he's coming from too. If it was poor design in the beginning, why are we punishing him now? So
But when we get into that Pandora's box,
if it was
and
a
I
poor
don't,
design had been in the beginning,
yeah,
it's not a
but they happen,
Pandora's box to me.
they're throughout the county though. That's
But
where I
I'm
would
gonna
be
say,
at on that.
this little project out here on 18th Road by the airport we were talking about last week,
Mm-hmm.
those trees were not even close to the road to go up to those pastures.
Those were within the right of way.
They may have been in the right of way, but those
So there
weren't
is a
close.
difference.
And all I hear is, we want to be good neighbors, we want to be good neighbors. Now, well, he's trying to be a good neighbor, but are we going to be a good neighbor with him? I understand, maybe it's not all in the road, but it seems to me like Tom, is something that we did before. Maybe we ought to be taking a look at it and trying to help him out in any way we can. If he's willing to do the fence and everything else, I mean.
But it's going to take your action to do it. I would not be able to do it by the statute.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And the one simple solution would be to take the fence out and then actually build a berm on the back side of the fence. And then what you do is you create a ditch or a waterway
on my property, on my side.
between the road and where you would extend the fence. So you'd have to take the fence and extend the fence without a survey or anything like that. You'd have to extend the fence to the east about 10 feet or so, 5 or 10 feet, okay? So you're going to be taking away your field. Then what you're going to be doing there is you will be building that fence on somewhat of a berm, per se. And then at that point, that water would stay between the road and his fence because it would stay within that berm. And then we would see what the elevations would allow to basically cut or drain to the waterway that's further to the north.
And
That'd
I
be
said
one
100
way to
feet,
do it.
I don't know if it's 100 feet or 150 feet. It's not. I'm not an engineer, that's what you're here for.
Well, that's what we would end up having to do, is just take a look at that. I mean, the discussion that we had was that the agency was looking at doing a berm along there to try to catch that water that was basically interfering. So it wasn't necessarily the highway department's.
But it was going to cost me quite a bit of money to do that.
So why don't you three work together, come up with a plan and see what it is, and then you bring it back, and then we'll decide whether we want to approve that plan or not.
So then is the commission saying that they would approve basically paying the cost that would be associated basically by the recommendations to do the berm, the terracing? I mean, it's going to take a terrace and a berm to correct that drainage, right?
We talked to Jared about building a waterway on his side there to handle his water. And what we'd like to do is to reduce the amount of water we have to put in there so we can reduce the size of the waterway by cutting off the county road water that's going down through there.
But since you're doing a waterway along the fence, right, in a north-south position, so then what you're doing is you're building a waterway along there. Then at that point you would build a berm approximately where the fence is at. And then that way you're going to build the berm to keep the road water within that area. Then you're going to have your waterway to handle the water that's coming out of the field.
Correct. I'm just talking about you guys getting together, and then we'll see what the plan is, and then we'll decide whether we want to fund it or not at that point. But without a plan of any kind, I don't think we really want to say we want to fund this, we want to fund that, or we don't want to fund it. But I think Robert got an idea.
As long as Jared's okay with it. And
And Wayne
Well,
got an
we'll
idea.
get together and see what we can
The
do.
three get together and figure out what to do, and then Wayne can bring back a plan.
Would the land still stay on me, or would you have to buy?
I think that's what Wayne's suggesting, that we need to buy.
Then again, we buy, or
You
whether
would
you
have
just
to-
give, or whether you donate it to the county.
Yeah.
If I can donate.
Yeah, anyway, those are things,
Like I say,
No more.
those are things we can work out when.
The more footage you're talking about, you're not talking about any monetary value
Yeah,
to the county buying it. And it sounds to me like the county's only gonna be building the berm, and Robert, working, is going to put the waterway in.
Yeah.
So the county itself, we're just correcting a problem which was created 20 years ago from the lack of proper designing.
You can show
I
that,
think-
because I've seen it.
I
Right.
think Bob right, just get together, put a plan together and present it.
It's not gonna be a huge expense.
Yeah, there won't be much expense in it. Doesn't look to me like.
I'm good with it.
I probably wouldn't have much problem just telling you to go ahead and do it right now, but
I just wanna make sure Jared's content with what's gonna happen.
I want everybody to agree, so
Yeah.
before we agree to it.
Since it is something outside of our policy.
Let's see.
Mile and a half north of Griffin, a mile north.
Really Lake Road.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
yeah.
I haven't been down that road for so many years, I don't recall exactly how it lays out.
But you can see how the ditch basically just goes right to the fence. And then this is the back side of the fence, is the drainage on the back side of the fence. That's the drainage on the back side of the fence. What is drainage?
I think the three of you just get together, put a plan together. and-
Like I said, we'll make sure Jared's content with what's gonna happen on Tuesday.
But, with that being said, then, what we'll just get together and do it about. When would be a time that you want to do it? I mean,
You're pretty busy, Robert.
I am swamped, let me take a look here.
That's what retirement does for you, Bob.
I know.
Keeps you pretty busy.
You're busier after you retire than you are before.
Gosh, after this meeting, I have the rest of the week on. Will that work for you?
Tomorrow morning.
After the rest of the week.
Tomorrow morning sounds good.
Tomorrow morning. Come in the office, we'll,
I'll have to see if I can take a vacation day.
okay. Well,
I make it work. I work for Gary.
I bet I can. What time?
Well,
You guys get up early?
well, we can, yeah, 7 o'clock when we get there. Not when I get up. I get up at 4.
That catches Robert on
Robert,
He's
I'm not
like,
ready.
7 o'clock.
7:30 be good.
7:30.
this was gonna be awful early for you to get here today.
It was.
Well, what if we do this, if you don't want to take a vacation day or something like that, we could just figure out what a plan could be.
And then I
Some
can talk to
estimate of
Robert.
cost,
Yeah.
and then we could visit, then we could get together and visit about it, we could
Okay.
visit with Robert, and then,
Okay.
but we'd still have to finalize it.
Yes. Maybe you guys can put
And then we can
together.
visit with the commission then at that point, once we complete that.
Okay.
Okay? So, you would have kind of some ideas as far as the earth quantities?
I've always got ideas, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch the questions I ask.
That's what's scary, is he's always got ideas.
Yes,
I'm always watching the questions I ask.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, gentlemen. Have a good day.
Nice to see
All right, okay,
I'll try.
okay.
That shouldn't take too long to put a plan together.
No, it is outside our scope, though. I just wanted to air that. And we've had these two, and Tom, it's not to be insulting in any way, but I've had that curve right there at the landfill has been a problemed area, and actually Forrest has brought that one up. He says it's not properly super elevated. So I'm like, that's where my Pandora box comes in, is when people say that, you know, our roads weren't built or designed correctly, that we're going back and recorrecting them. Once we do it, then basically now we set an example to cite why we did it for this one, now we need to do it for the other, because we said it was a poor design. Okay, that's all.
I get the gist of
You
it,
get
but
it
I mean,
now,
just,
yeah.
again, I mean, it's a bad design 20 years ago, and we got the resources to remedy it, and let's do it now, as opposed to
Right.
wait until we don't.
And that would be the decision where, as the board would have that home rule, as I understand it, to be able to make that decision.
Hey, Wayne,
Yes.
I talked to Heather and she said, don't move forward with the motion on the mowing bid.
Well, it's not yeah, I got the text.
Okay.
It's signing the invitation to bid onto it. We already got the motion done.
Okay.
But yeah, she found an error there. I had to silence my phone, so. All right, there we go. Construction zone. Not that I'm asking for any resolution or anything, but just letting you know that Division of Water Resources had sent out a proclamation by the governor for the Flood Safety Awareness Week. And so I don't know if you get a copy of those or not, but just putting that around, letting you folks know. Get going on a few other things. One is, as we have the motions, as I go into the motions, as you see, each one of those motions from 21 through 25 is the hot mix asphalt. And then the last one's the landfill motion. So what I'd like to do is just go ahead and discuss all of those hot mix asphalt projects initially, and then let you go into the motions if you don't mind on that one, Cody.
Sounds good.
Now, one of the things I would like to point out from the change from the 2020 construction book is what you have is, I had listed the asphalt projects. Well, I have an addition. And the addition is just the mile of hot mix asphalt on Links Road, from 12th to 13th is an addition that was not part of the book, okay? And that is listed in here on Links Road. So now that's a 2-mile project versus just being a 1-mile project over on Links Road.
It's motion number 22, so
All right, thank you.
it's inside that one.
Yes. So what we have is Links Road from 12 to 14 is where that would be at. So that just added 1 more mile. Yes, we do have enough funds in the budget for that extra mile. What was pointed out is 2 things. One is with the load restrictions that we're having on Embankment Road, it's sending more traffic over on 12th into the Burlington area over on Links, and then from Links they go up to 13th. And that's how the traffic is basically routing now. And so what we're trying to do there is at that intersection, we've noticed basically some stress on that asphalt, and then the road is starting to stress a little bit. So why not go ahead and take care of it now since we're already going to be in that area? And so that was one of the additions that we had. The other is the 2 intersection locations, the intersection at California and 58. Keeping in mind that is a county access road. That's why we take care of the surface only. We do not take care of the ditches or the right-of-way within the city of Leroy, but we take care of the surface only on that road. So we chip seal it, we hot mix asphalt it as needed, and that intersection comes into 58 Highway. That would be the intersection that we have done work on before. And so with that intersection, also the intersection up on Old Highway 50 in Shetland, Old Highway 50 in Shetland, is that intersection is actually starting to fail. The asphalt right now is. And so that's the reason why we need to redo that intersection. And it would just be on the south side of Old Highway 50, so the T part of the intersection. What we're doing there is we're going to be milling that out 2 inches. We'll be putting fabric onto it, and we'll be putting 2 inches of hot mix asphalt back. And so that's just one of the projects. All the rest of them is an 1.5 inch overlay for the most part.
Are people still cutting that corner?
Well, no, since I put those barriers on there, I have not had a problem.
Down?
They have knocked them down, but yeah, but
they're still cutting it in.
But they're not. The thing was they were cutting clear up to that fence corner.
Right.
It stopped that for the most part. Do they still knock down those plastic posts that was designed for that? Yes. Yeah, they do.
Okay, this one on Links, just to get it. This is 12th, we're going clear up to 14th, correct?
Yes, sir.
At 13th, we're going over 75.
Yes, sir.
13th lane, we're coming down past the school.
Yes,
and
sir.
then back over to.
Yes. Now there is some question there. Is that in the city or is in the county?
Part of it is.
We went ahead. We have done work clear up to that intersection, and so that would be what you call a 12th lane and Links lane, right there at that intersection.
What would that be in the city? Just half mile?
This right.
Yeah.
That mile there?
That half of that right there
Half
would probably
of
be
that.
in the city. But
But-
we do the snow removal and everything on that anyway.
Yes,
too.
sir. So we've really kind of been maintaining that road, been doing that work onto it. So mine would be just go ahead and
And part of this.
do that. Just keep doing that work. Even though we know it's somewhat inside the city, unless the city has a problem with it, that's where we'd be adding the asphalt onto it as well.
On the first one there on motion 21, a half, 3/4 mile north of on 12, or north of 12. There was a little bit of a failure there with a 10 whistle going underneath the blacktop. It was a little bit rough.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be able to smooth that out a little bit.
This should, yes. With the 1.5 inch that we're going to have on.
I think we even had to take out that culvert there at one time here a
Mm-hmm.
couple years ago.
Yes.
Because it got where it was settling out and getting awful rough.
Over on Shetland.
Okay.
Yes.
So it'd be north on Shetland, be north of
Uh-huh.
12, probably halfway
Just
up.
south of Doug's house, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, because they definitely need,
We'll put
in the
hawk in
process,
it
they
first.
need to, you might even have to mill something out to get it to where it be laid back down smooth.
If we're not able to, if we don't have a smooth road to lay the mat on, then yeah, we'll be milling it. We're not looking at a milling machine on these other than the intersections. But for the most part, an inch and a half should be able to give us the leveling course that we're needing to have to smooth out the roads.
On number 24, which is the co-op, California Road, you know, it's been some time, they finally got that where it's pretty well solid.
Mm-hmm.
How far do they mill that to the south of 58?
Well, what we're going to do right there is we'll go at least
That's where
to
the
that.
semis are all twisting really hard.
We'll go to that intersection or south of where the drive is, right there. That goes into the co-op where they weigh. Any place where we have that.
South probably 100 feet or better.
If we have distress on that road, we're going to go as far back as we need to remove that distress of that asphalt.
Because there is a lot of stress when coming.
What we don't want to do is just do a small portion and then leave a section we're going to have to take out later. Yeah. Otherwise, its support is basically the chip seal that's on top of it. That's all we have.
On number 25, that's going Shetland on 50 going north.
Yes.
You know that ditch there?
South. South of Old 50 at Shetland.
Okay, you're going south. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking about going north.
That's a gravel road.
No, Shetland, off of 50.
Yeah.
50. I'm thinking of 58. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Well,
But now 58 there at Leroy, we've done some work there. We had milled that so we could get that to drain because that was our biggest problem. And then we put asphalt in there.
Correct. Okay. I was thinking that was another place she's going to do it, and we don't want to make that any higher than it is because that drainage is low enough. It's a huge twist on these semis.
Yes.
But I was in the wrong location. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that one at this point is still working.
Yeah.
We're going to leave that one alone.
I'll leave it alone.
We'll leave that one alone. But the one at the co-op, it's starting to fail. We had placed fabric onto it, so I'm a firm believer in the fabric. And that's helped out that intersection quite a bit. So, but that's one is we added 1 mile, and then the other is just the discussion of the hot mix that we're looking for this year.
Motion 2020-21, based upon the recommendation of the county engineer, move to approve the county engineer's request to solicit sealed bids for A2001-C hot mix asphalt project, approximately 4 miles of 1.5 inch hot mix, 26 feet wide overlay on Shetland Road, 12th Road to 16th Road. Funds to be paid from the general fund, Public Works asphalt line item.
Also move.
Don moves. Is there a second? I'll second it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries 5-0. Motion 2020-22, based upon the recommendation of the county engineer, move to approve the county engineer's request to solicit sealed bids for A2002-C hot mix asphalt project, approximately 4 miles of 1.5 inch hot mix, 26 feet wide, overlay on 13th Road, Links Road to 75 Highway, Links Road, 12th Road to 14th Road, 12th Lane from Links Road to Links Lane, and on Links Lane from 12th Lane to 13th Road. Funds to be paid from the general fund Public Works asphalt line item. Charles has moved. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Don has seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Is funds paid from the general fund Public Works asphalt line item? So, not only do we have the road and bridge fund, the special bridge, and the special highway improvement fund, but if you can also draw out the general fund?
Yes. This was then money that was set aside in July, and so what we have is an asphalt program that's been running somewhere between 1 to $4 million a year. And so this is money that we have been using for the hot mix asphalt, comes out of that fund for the county. So every year we add money into that fund. If we didn't, we'd put it into the road and bridge fund. And so now you take from the general fund into the road and bridge fund is what you'd have. If you're wanting to change it, you might want to double check with your accountant.
I wasn't thinking that. I was just thinking
In addition to
in addition to the $2
the
million
road bridge.
here and a $1.5 million there and a $3 million there.
We have quite a few funds for road and bridge, for roads.
Well, we got special highway, special bridge. We got
Yeah, I see
road and
it.
bridge. Yeah.
Good.
Good. Motion 2020-23, based upon recommendation of the county engineer, move to approve the county engineer's request to solicit sealed bids for A2003-C hot mix asphalt project, approximately 3 miles of 1.5 inch hot mix, 26 feet wide, for an overlay on Trefoil Road, 22nd Road to 25th Road, funds to be paid from the general fund, Public Works asphalt line item. I so move. I'll second. Fred has seconded. All in favor say aye.
I have a question.
Okay.
Is this going up to Grand Junction corner? It's 25th on Road, Grand Junction corner,
Yes. 25th is 31 Highway.
31 Highway.
Yeah, we did that
Okay.
today.
So we're going to do a little bit in the city of Waverly too.
Okay, so you're talking, okay, no, what you have is, the
I'm not getting
Grand
that.
Central Station is what you're talking about, okay. So, alright, so what you have is there on Trefoil is we go up to the intersection where the state is then at that point. See, the state comes down from the north and then they turn and head back to the east.
But
That's
going
31.
south, isn't that Waverly on city on both sides?
The city's on both sides, but what we have is a city-county connecting
Right, right.
link,
Right.
the same way that we have in Leroy. So just in Leroy, for example, we go up to 58.
But I wanted to point out that since we
Yeah.
were talking about being in the city of Burlington here and the city down there, I wanted to make sure that we point out we're in the city of Waverly also.
Well,
we're trying to help everyone however we can.
We are, and I'm not arguing with you. We are in the cities, but there's a difference. When I do a city-county connecting link, I go through the city on that connecting road. When I'm in Burlington, I'm not on a connecting road at those particular junctions. Okay, so I'm not going through Burlington for a connecting road. Yes, I am in the cities.
Well, I think his point's good, so the general public knows
That we're in the cities.
We're doing it everywhere. We're not just doing it in a few places.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're talking to an engineer.
We're doing.
I process
just wanted to make a
different.
point that we're doing it everywhere. We don't just do it in certain places.
We do a lot for a lot of folks. There's no question about it. We sure do.
All right. Having been moved and seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries 5-0.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. Good.
2020-24. Based upon the recommendation of the county engineer, move to approve the county engineer's request to solicit sealed bids for A2004-C hot mix asphalt project, milling and 2-inch hot mix overlay at California Road and 58 Highway intersection. Funds to be paid from the general fund, Public Works asphalt line item.
It's your
District.
California, okay. I so moved, yeah, we're back to California 58. Sorry about that. I so moved.
I'll second for you.
Don has moved, Bob has seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Motion 2020-25. Based upon the recommendation of the county engineer, move to approve the county engineer's request to solicit sealed bids for A2005-C hot mix asphalt project, milling and 2-inch hot mix overlay at Shetland Road and 50 Highway intersection. Funds to be paid from the General Fund Public Works asphalt line item. I'll make that motion.
And I'll second it.
Fred is seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. It carries 5-0. And our last one, I'll go ahead and read it. 2020-26, based upon the recommendation of the county engineer, move to approve the county engineer's request to solicit formal bids for approximately 15,000 tons of filter rock passing through a 3-inch screen and retained on a 1-inch screen, as needed for the construction of county landfill cell number 4, project LF 2001-C, funds to be paid from the capital improvement reserve fund.
I'll move.
Fred has moved.
Second.
Don has seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
And see, Tom, that's another fund that we have. And that's gonna be towards, that was set aside through discussions, budgeting and such as that we're gonna have as well. This is starting the process for us, the landfill. Right now, the plans have been submitted to KDHE for review to start the project. Once we get approval from them, then probably as early as next week, what you're going to get is a motion for us to start the invitation to bid onto it. Now, there's also too is some need. There's going to be 2 requests here. One is going to be invitation to bid, and that would be to put the liner down. Now, on this particular project, what we have done in the past is we'd do the earthwork ourselves. So on this particular stretch, we would do the earthwork, we would do the clay onto it, the clay liner portion of it, and then we would contract out to basically put the plastic down that needs to be welded. The seams need to be welded. And then we also are required by KDHE to have a QC/QA, quality control, quality assurance inspector, and in the past it's been Blackstone. It's been the folks that we've been using because they have been with us since the beginning of the landfill. They know the landfill. They know where the soil's at. They're also a geotechnical group as well, geologists. And so those things are coming. So it's a pretty busy year for us. But we do have those funds as well. And I believe last time we've done this, it was close to, with our cost, everything, it was close to $600,000. And that was initially estimated over $800,000 for the landfill.
You have trouble finding the clay material to put the base down?
At this point, we have enough, but if we run into a different seam, then it's going to change everything. It's
I think you lay that clay down.
2 foot.
It's a 2-foot layer?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Where do you plan on getting it? You got any idea where you want to get the rock from? Where it will come from?
Well, right now,
You do it?
the thing is what we had done in the past, or what we'd done 6 years ago, is this rock was available there at Nelson's Quarry that was directly south of us, but 15,000 tons, the pile that they have is not large enough. And so what I have to do here, the reason why I have it set this way is to solicit formal bids, because it's going to be that's why I was using my phone, I just used my calculator. It's going to be close to about $142,000, $143,000 just for the rock, but what that's going to require is me to contact these other rock quarries that we have within our area and see if they would be able to crush that rock, because they're going to have to crush the rock for us. It's made a certain way that you have a gradation that would only meet the criteria that's allowed within our landfill.
You think Nelson's would are you going to contact him?
We'll contact Nelson,
Back in?
but if they open up that quarry, that's going to be a different thing. I'm not for sure what they can open up or not now dealing with zoning. I'm not for sure if they can just come in and start crushing, because that has been in non-use for quite some time. So we'd have to check there. But there are other rock quarries. We have Burlington. They may be interested. The mid-states, they may be interested. And then Harshman. Now, of course, Harshman has the other quarry that he's opening up. there on Homestead, north of Old 50, and so that's another option. But like I say, it does have a certain gradation that must meet that spec, and so it would be made just for our purposes.
And do they have some of that out there?
At this point, the gradation or the spec, we do not have that.
They don't have any left.
The only thing that comes close is that small portion that's down there south of the landfill currently right now, but that's only like a couple hundred ton. It's not 15,000. I think it's less than 1,000
So it's
tons.
not enough to even mess with.
Well, it's not enough for us to fulfill what our needs
We'd
are.
have to come back in and start reprocessing.
But then possibly we'd have to deal with zoning too, because they would have to dynamite and everything else to get the rock. Okay. All right. The other one, just for information, you're going to see, this is that's what we've already discussed, talked about. What I'm trying to show here on Emerald, I'm not trying to change what we've already talked about and what we agreed to, but Emerald Lane, the right-of-way was just everything within that green area was the right-of-way, and I'm going to show you another picture here in just a minute. This is where they were doing the dredging at, Bob Capper Lane, and north of 13th. This is Capper Lane right in here. We're going to be taking out these trees with our excavator, and then we're going to come back and ditch it later after it dries out.
They
And-
pretty well got that north end of that in bad shape.
Well, now, here's where the dredging is at the half mile right here. And so what the dredging is going to do is they're going to actually pay for the gravel for that mile section of road. That's what we've all agreed to. But we're going in there and shaping the road, reshaping the ditches, but they're paying for the rock. That's what was all agreed to. The reason why I wanted to show you this and why everything is a little bit different is because this is all within the right-of-way here. This area here shows we have a 60-foot right-of-way, but what's being utilized is a 40-foot. So in this particular area, you can see from the appraiser's maps that you can see the dirt along the side where basically the cultivated fields are. But once again, that's our right-of-way, so we have to work within our right-of-way, and that's where we would be doing the ditching, and that's where we'd be doing the trees in that area. So, okay, construction zone. Then to touch on construction zone, as the weather's drying up for us a little bit, and hopefully we won't. There's a slight chance, I believe, of rain this afternoon, this evening. But the weather's warming up, and as the weather's warming up, it's drying out a little bit out there, so we can make a little bit of difference. And so we are shaping the roads as we can, adding rock as we can. Bridge crew there is taking care of some erosion issues, doing also some rock entrances. And we're doing tree removals, as you can see from assistant fleet. Entrance replacement, ditch cleaning, shoulder maintenance over on Old Highway 50 from Trefoil to Yearling. Brush control countywide, and doing some sign maintenance. And we do have all of those signs up on the 8 bridges that were basically by resolution. So we have all of those and submitted to the state. Now, they've only done 50 bridges. They've only basically done load ratings on 50 bridges within our county. When they do more, as I said earlier, that we will see more postings or requirements for posting. Because the original design, once again, did not have those load ratings that we are required to today. And so the load ratings, our bridges were load rated, but they were load rated for their design, and that's the ones that we have in the file. But these load ratings are actually allowing heavier trucks that was not original to the original design. So that's the reason why we're posting. So a little bit different. for us.
Caper Road north of 13th now, is it open now?
As far as Caper Road north of 13th,
Yeah, we had
okay,
that temporary closed there for quite a long time. Is it open now?
Caper Lane,
Caper Road, I'm back the next time.
on the next one over.
Okay,
No,
dead
that
end.
hasn't changed. That
Dead
hasn't.
end road.
No, that hasn't changed.
So
That's
it's
not
still-
open yet.
Okay, so it's still
No.
closed in.
No, we allowed that to close because the dredging company was parking their equipment back there and such as that. We allowed that to be temporarily closed. They're not done with the area. What they're looking at doing right now is they're actually looking at building a structure. It's a controlled relief type structure. So when you have like a wetlands, what you have is a structure that you put, say, gates in, and you raise the gate for certain elevations. And so what they're proposing, what we're working on right now, is that type of drainage structure. They plan on selling that property, as I understand it, but you know, that's a different matter. Doesn't really affect us. That drainage structure is a little bit different because initially all of that was to, as they brought the sludge in from the John Redmond, then that was to de-water itself out and actually go back out to the John Redmond, or no, not go back to the John Redmond, but to go downstream where that water was going. But now this one here, by placing this control structure in, what it's going to do is going to take that rainwater that's on top. Now it's going to take that 20 acres per se, and now allow that water to come back out to the ditch. And a person could say, well, that's the way it was originally, and that's true. That is kind of the way it was originally before they done all this dredging operation. So you have that to deal with too. So, okay. That's all I have. Unless you have some questions for me.
Nope. I don't have any.
Okay.
Thank you, Lonnie.
All right, thank you.
Have a good week, man.
Yes, sir.
Take a break, Bob.
Well, I don't know. We got that.
We need to see if Wade's here and discuss Jordan's.
No. Okay, yeah.
You want me to hang around for that one?
And then Lindsay
Let's take a
wants to
break.
come up for.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a break.
something.
Probably wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it hang around for
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'll let her know and then see if Wade is there. Have her come up first.
Okay. Lydia, is that going to be an executive? If it is, I need to go get my cheat sheet. Better get it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll just look at getting, I know the whole commission, but I'll just look at with that discussion I'll have with, on Jordan's, not Jordan's, on Jared's request, thank you. Did they name another son with the J? I was wondering on that.
I've got a nephew, he has 3 kids.
They
His
did that?
wife's name starts with a K, his name starts with a K, all his kids' names start with a K.
I was wondering if there was a pattern there, but
Possibly. Not that it's a bad deal.
not a bad deal, not a bad deal.
It keeps it interesting.
Little humor, yeah. Well, all I'm looking at there is to give you a ballpark idea of what the cost is going to be.
And that's fine. Like I say, just, you know, if he's willing to give up some land and rebuild a fence and, you know, you got kind of like Heartbreakers Department help him build a terrace and improve the situation. It's been going on for 20 plus years. It'd be great.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Was Angie here today?
I haven't seen her.
Okay.
My fund balance sheet. Oh, is that there?
1 to 2.
She would
and then
do
the
it.
state,
She would do the time right for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the just, something I'd
Yeah,
like
that-
to make somebody wait.
That's what I thought, yep. Lindsay, you ready?
So I just wanted to let you guys know, the state of Kansas called me, the child care licensing program called me on, I want to say it was last week, and asked that Coffee County not apply for the child care licensing grant this year. They are regionalizing that. So what we currently do is we take the money from KDHE, I do the grant application, I do the reports, and then we pay Flint Hills Community Health Center. We contract with one of their staff to come and perform the child care licensing surveys for us. So not much is going to change as far as the work being done, but we aren't going to be applying for that money this year. So the state said by regionalizing it that they would be able to hire more staff to cover the area. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that they've asked us to not apply for $6,000 that we normally do apply for. So that's all. This grant application period right now, so I hadn't started working on that grant. It was my plan to do so the next day, so I let them know I would have appreciated a little more notice than what they gave, but and I did let them know if they're taking it back that they get to keep it. They don't get to ask us to do more in the future. We'll be glad to work with Jamie, and I've emailed Jamie, and we work great with them, but I just told the state that they're taking it back, it's theirs, so we won't take it anymore. So anyway, just want to give you a heads up, we're only missing about $6,000, so it was just passed through. That's about all I had. I just want to give you a heads up, and I'll get back to grant writing.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
This is the progress report for noxious weed that each one of you need to sign. One.
Morning, Wade. Morning. If you're ready, we need to recess into executive session for non-elected personnel. I can't remember what the motion was last week.
Recess into executive session, protect privacy rights of non-elected personnel pursuant to non-elected personnel matters exception to the COMA KSA 75 4319 B1.
Who's on it?
The commission and Wade
Commission and Wade.
for 10 minutes.
So moved.
Tom moved, Bob seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We'll go in for 10 minutes at 10:10.
Okay, now that everybody's signed this, we're gonna redo it because we left off the zero. And this is the void.
There's the abatement, so just sign it. unless Wade has something else for us.
Do we need to go in for 5 minutes with Wayne?
I don't think so. Wouldn't know why.
That's in the yellow, so there's no issue. Huh?
That Monday.
Yes, I am. I went to 0 off of your check, as you could see.
Did you go to the game Saturday night?
So,
This
he's not gonna be happy with
wasn't
the
the
deal.
numbers 23 for Devo, but he's kind of the star player for him. And they were,
And he wasn't shooting very well that night.
well, they were doing everything they could to keep the ball away from him.
Right.
And they lost twice to him prior to that.
By 1 point in the last 5 seconds.
Hard to beat a
Oh,
game
good
3
week of
times.
weather, aren't it? 8 or 10 days, no rain, finally.
Deadline, you gotta usually hit 2 points in the last 5 seconds when the players made a 3-pointer.
I'm gonna request 10 minutes. The commission recess into executive session, consultation with county counselor to discuss ongoing county litigation, matters being privileged under attorney-client relationship privilege under the attorney-client relationship exception, Tacoma, KSA 7543-19B2.
I so moved.
Second.
Tom has moved and Dawn has seconded to go into executive session for 10 minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries 5-0.
With the attorney and
With the attorney and the commission. 10 minutes, we'll go in at 10:23.
We don't need you anymore, one.
Okay.
Tom moved and Dawn seconded.
We're in.
We're in. Yeah.
Then I'll be in touch.
Yeah, just kidding.
all kinds of stuff was said today.
It is. Tom, you didn't send me on everything else, so I don't know what past you.
I have no idea.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Wait, do you have anything else for roundtable?
I did. I remember saying it, but I just missed it, so.
The compensation study, job description update / HR audit. I received the revised or updated proposed contract from McGrath late last week. I have revised it further to clean up some internal language, and I've actually got it ready to submit back to them to make sure they're fine with it, but I mean, I think it should be ready to present to the board by next week. I think outside of that, that's all I have.
Denise, do you have anything for roundtable?
No.
Okay. Tom?
No, just,
I'm fine.
We've got CPI, and from our discussion last week on economic development director position, do we want to take any further action, interviews or discussion on that, and then also CPI?
2.3.
I didn't have any problem with the 2.3, but I wouldn't want to do anything different. It's higher than what I anticipated it would be, but that's what it is, so.
After it came out with, Social Security at 1.8, I'm kind of surprised it came back. Because I think they make their decisions ahead of January 1st, but I was surprised it came back at 2.3 also, Bob.
But I know in previous years that we've always fairly gave a little bit above what it was most of the time, but I think some of that stuff needs to, we need to start using a little common sense sometimes, so.
The change takes place April 1st, correct?
Yes. So it would be
Yeah, April
reflected
30.
on their April paycheck.
April 30 check. And whether we make the decision this week, or first meeting in March, or 2 weeks down the road, or 3 weeks, we're not going to learn anything that's going to be any different than what we already have presented to us.
No, we're not.
Last year's.
This is last year's.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've got it right here in front of me.
2.3 is $172,485.68 more than county's expense.
Tom, can you take that one?
Huh?
One in the back. I already gave Fred
I was
one.
busy reading. Did you get that? I did.
I didn't.
Well, Mr. Chairman, as Bob stated, in the last 8 years, I think the county has, and I want to be involved in it for free, but I think the county has been pretty aggressive and rewarding our employees. In the last 8 years, we've increased the pay 6.15 above CPI. And based on a couple thousand hours a year, that's $1,200 over and above CPI. But I would so move that we award our employees, if that's the right word, to reward our employees. The CPI, as of January 1st, 2.3%.
As of April 1st.
I'm sorry?
As of April 1st, right?
As of April 1st, correct. This motion doesn't have April 1st on it either, so.
I can add that if you want.
Even though we've been a little aggressive the last 8 years, I'd have a little problem with going below the CPI, so
So, move to authorize and direct the chairman to sign the advisory memorandum to department heads regarding employee evaluation forms CP4, CP4U, and CP5, which reflects a 2.3% market adjustment as of April 1st, 2020.
I'll second.
Dawn has moved, Bob has seconded. Any further discussion?
When I was going through all this, and I don't have all the right answers when it comes to salaries, although I've worked with it for 50 years, I guess. We got 47 employees on step 6, which, don't have the opportunity to move up every 2 years. And that's, our salary study will probably review that, how they will make a change in that, and if there needs to be a change, I'm not real sure. But that's probably something the salary study may review. Because they do have 47 employees in that step 6.
This is an opportunity to apply something equitable across all employees, whether they're top down or not. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
So I have one question, Denise, on the memorandum. I was looking at the calendar and was hoping to have these returned by Wednesday, March 18th, so that I could have everything in the books. Is that going to work for you, give you time?
Yeah, that should be okay.
Donna, do you have anything else for roundtable?
I do. I was wanting to see if it would be all right with you guys if I have the commissioner's mail delivered downstairs to my office like all the other offices have. It would be a lot more convenient. Just want to check with you guys to make sure it's okay.
The mail comes to Angie currently because by state statute, she is the secretary to the commission. So she looks through it to see if there's anything she needs, then puts it in Donna's box.
I have not seen anything in state statute that states that it has to go to the clerk's office.
It doesn't specifically say mail, but the state statute says that the county clerk is the secretary to the board.
Again, I've read through
I'm
the
just telling you
statute.
what Angie said, okay?
So it's the commissioner's
Is it
mail.
always gone to you?
No.
Well, I've always been up here.
Always been up there to get it.
It's always come to our room, and we've always seen it first and then put it in the box.
Is all the offices in the county, everyone pick their mail up here?
Not all of them, but some.
I'd have no problem with it being, delivered down there, unless the statute says you have to come here first.
Right.
And if the statute isn't clear on that, then it's not an issue. I have no problem with it being delivered to your directly.
Maybe we should ask Wade to review the statute.
And I think you should wait till Angie says.
I'll tell you one thing, as a mailman, it's pretty, I always took everything to the clerk's office. It's pretty tough to tell where a lot of things in the courthouse went.
We get a lot of people.
And if you didn't know where it went, you went to the clerk's office.
I can see that part of it.
Just anybody's mail.
The other offices in the county that get their mail in their office, is it all put here first and then someone from the clerk's office?
No, not
delivers it?
always. It just depends on, we get a lot of miscellaneous mail too,
I'm sure of that.
but we sort through a lot of mail.
But
They
when
don't
you
know
sort-
where to take it, even if it says that it's for someone. And they don't know what it is. And we get a lot of mail, and we sort through most of it. But for me, if you guys are gonna make a decision on this, I would like you to do it with Angie here to discuss it with you. Okay?
Well, I think they asked Wade to check into the statute, so.
And that's fine too.
We need
but
to understand
I don't
that.
want a decision made with me here. I want it made with Angie here.
That's fine.
I'll initially say this, just having a review and for elected officials. My guess would be when the legislature put together those statutes, they didn't have mail in mind, so there's probably not any direction on mail. So I'll look into it, but my guess is that it's not going to be there. And then that it'll fall back on the board making the ultimate decision on where mail should go and figure out if there is a differentiation between board mail and clerk mail, and that I don't know. That's just my initial gut reaction. But I'll look into it.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have. Cody, you have your class, your leadership, commissioner's leadership class on Friday in Columbus.
You have the
Address.
location or an address
I'll
on
get it
there.
for you. Wayne County Highway Department Training Facility, 3424 Airport Road, 1.
Actually, I think I know where that is. 9 to 3.
I think it was. Yeah, 9 to 3.
All right.
Do you want to reserve a vehicle or use your credit card? Okay. Gotcha.
I'll find out his name.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I'll see all hands good.
Okay.
I just have one more comment I forgot to bring up during roundtable. I prepared in the paycheck mailings as well as in the local coffee time publication, the election rules and prohibitions, recommendations. There's a 2-page document I prepared that should have went out, kind of gives a primer. Cody's got a copy of it.
I got it.
On the applicable rules, there's all kinds of state statutes that would potentially apply, but, you know, I'm not going to put together a 15-page document. So kind of hit the highlights and prohibited conduct, including what would potentially be problematic on the disciplinary side for county employees. Just to highlight, they can reference the policy manual if they want something more specific, and then probably more importantly, the social media recommendations, and that requires a lot of self-policing, so to speak, just to be smart and vigilant in what's posted that would potentially be problematic outside the workplace, not to represent yourself as a county employee, and to make explicit, if you do post something on social media, that you're indicating that you're doing so as an individual, not as a county representative. So.
Applicable to any and all elections.
Correct.
Beyond local. Yeah. Anybody have anything else?
Cancer lunch is Tuesday next week.
Tuesday the 10th.
Yes.
If not, we'll adjourn at 10:50.